At 6,194 meters, Mount McKinley is the highest mountain in North America. To reach the summit, climbers must endure a long battle with the harsh elements of the far north. Violent storms are a constant threat, as are sudden avalanches. These are just some of the dangers confronting those who attempt the climb. A vast world of mountains and sky awaits them at the top. Soaring higher than 6,000 meters, the peak of Mount McKinley offers successful climbers a vista of unmatched grandeur. Welcome to the Great Summits. This episode takes you to the Alaska Range in North America. Many of the mountains here rise over 3,000 meters. Between them are sheer walls of stone covered with snow. The Alaska Range is over 1,000 kilometers long, with an area large enough to cover the entire U.S. state of Washington. Giant glaciers flow from the mountains, some of them more than 70 kilometers long. In this majestic range, there is one mountain that towers above them all. That peak is Mount McKinley, the highest mountain in North America. From the foothills to the summit, it rises more than 5,000 meters in one leap, making it one of the largest single mountains in the world. The indigenous people call this peak Denali, which means the Great One. The harsh weather of the far north poses a serious obstacle to anyone wanting to stand on the summit. Even in summer, the air temperature can dip to minus 30 degrees centigrade. Wind speed can climb higher than 80 meters per second. The oxygen content is less than half that of sea level. For all these reasons, McKinley is considered too harsh for human life. The town of Talkeetna lies in the foothills. In the indigenous language, Talkeetna means river of plenty. A train from Anchorage arrives once a day. It's full of people who come to enjoy McKinley's natural beauty. Talkeetna's main street is lined with old buildings that date from the pioneer days. Formerly a boom town during the gold rush, it now serves as a staging point for mountain climbing. In early June, the camera crew visits a mountaineer who will accompany them on the McKinley expedition.
Yes, my name is Kokubo. Nice to meet you.
Kokubo.
Yes.
Marty Rainey.
Marty.
Yeah,
Mr. Marty.
Kokubo.
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 Marty Rainey makes his living by building log cabins.
Nice to meet you. Igarashi.
Marty has reached the summit of McKinley 4 times out of 10 attempts. He's achieved his dream of playing guitar and singing on the top of the mountain. In this attempt, the camera crew will also be accompanied by Marty's daughter, Misty, who works with her father.
Takes experience.
Misty was born in Alaska, and Marty would love for her to climb her homeland's greatest peak.
It's majestic.
Check this out, at 14,000.
Although Misty has experience climbing in snowy mountains, this will be the first time she has attempted a world-class peak like
But you're
McKinley.
above the cloud systems right here for most of the climb. It's beautiful, yes?
Yes, it's beautiful and I'm excited and it's gonna be really hard. I'm worried about everyone and I want everybody to do good, be strong and healthy.
So it is serious business. There's one main objective, and that's to try to go to this mountain and learn something and come back alive, but
Only about half of those who attempt the climb make it to the top. This expedition will be a great challenge for both Marty and his daughter.
It never happened. So what do you think on this time?
This is the route they'll take. The first stage is to take a small plane from Talkeetna to a tributary glacier. They'll start their climb here on a ridge that goes westward. Then they'll climb a steep, snowy slope to the summit. The total distance is 27 kilometers. They'll set up 6 camps and take 3 weeks to complete the climb.
Then we will do light to heavy.
With food, climbing equipment, cameras, and other gear for the shoot, the team will carry close to 600 kilograms of luggage.
I got more for you. And keep seat belts fastened all
The team consists of Marty, Misty, and 7 people on the camera crew, who are all experienced climbers, including some who have climbed in the Himalayas. A local bush pilot will fly them to their starting point. The team leaves Talkeetna for the glacial valley. The Kahiltna River flows through a forest of conifers. McKinley looms high on the right. They enter the Alaska Range. The plane threads its way through the mountains. The rock formation below rears up about 500 meters. A giant ice fall can be seen beside it. There's no runway. They land directly on the ice.
Tell me how.
Yeah, the magic of a jet engine.
We made it!
Yeah.
Great. It is so beautiful and it's so warm. It's gorgeous. It's awesome. It's so exciting to be here. Thank you. What a privilege. This is one of the most beautiful places on the globe.
Easy. Easy.
They immediately set up Camp 1.
あ、材料あげましょうか。
で、
テントマット。
They're at an altitude of about 2,200 meters. To reach the summit, they must climb almost 4,000 meters higher. They begin their climb the following day. Kahiltna Glacier flows on the southwest slope of McKinley. A massive glacier measuring some 70 kilometers long. It's formed by several tributary glaciers that flow together. The team will climb up Kahiltna Glacier to the summit. These large cracks in the surface of the ice are called crevasses. The glacier moves tens of centimeters a day. As the ice moves, strains develop in the surface that create crevasses. Several faint lines run through the ice. These are hidden crevasses where gaps have formed.
These are all hidden crevasses right on the airstrip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those crevasses, look at me. Those crevasses go all the way through, right through here, right through this camp. They're lower. Those cracks run right through, all the way through, right here. There's a crevasse. Looks good, looks good. Good pace, good pace, good pace. Don't stop. Perfect. Woo!
At 10 in the morning on the next day, the team leaves Camp 1, pulling their luggage on a sled. The climbers are tied to each other with ropes as a precaution in case someone falls into a crevasse. The weather is clear, and the temperature rises to nearly 20 degrees centigrade in the afternoon.
Is everybody okay?
They have walked for 3 hours.
Crevasse. Crevasse right here.
Yeah, I know.
Marty's foot breaks through a crevasse. Fortunately, it's a small crack, and he doesn't fall. Even so, the bottom is too deep to be seen. In this land of midnight sun, it looks like midday, even after 9 o'clock in the evening. At an altitude of 2,400 meters, the team gazes up at a cloudless sky. McKinley stands out, clear above them, framed in deep blue. On this day, the team concentrates exclusively on their climb up the glacier. This is the view, looking down Kahiltna Glacier. The 6 specks in the center are the climbing team. Marty is carrying and pulling 30 kilograms of gear. The glacier is bathed in strong ultraviolet light. The reflection of the snow drains the body of strength. On this 6th day, they have to pass a particularly dangerous place. There's an icy protrusion on the ridge of a nearby mountain. It's called a serac. As the temperature rises, seracs become unstable and can collapse at any time. The team passes right below a giant icefall. On the upper part of the icefall, there are several overlapping large seracs. This is one of the most dangerous places the team will encounter on the glacier. They safely arrive at Camp 4 at an altitude of 3,300 meters. This ends 6 days of hiking on the glacier. They start setting up camp. Their first task is to cut out blocks of ice. They pile these up to make a windbreak for the toilet.
そんな感じなんだ。
快適に。
快適ですか。
プライベートが結構高いです。
They melt snow for their drinking water. It takes 30 minutes to make a liter of water. To help lighten their load, they eat freeze-dried rice reconstituted with hot water.
Well, I like these mountains, I like these trees, yeah. Sometimes at night I hear them calling me. More often than not, grab my hat. Then I'll strum it from a summit, yes I will. If I can't find a summit, I'll strum it from a hill.
At 11 p.m., the sun sinks to the horizon. The camp will be in darkness only a short time. The next day, they must climb 1,000 meters higher. It's 8 in the morning, another clear day. The team wastes no time hiking up the steep slope. As they approach the 4,000-meter mark, there's an increasing risk of altitude sickness. The air contains about 60% of the oxygen of that at sea level. The climbers must keep breathing deeply as they slowly advance. At 4,000 meters, they've arrived at an area called Windy Corner, famous for its fierce gales. Fortunately, there's no wind at all here on this warm day.
It's beautiful. Bare hands, glasses off, woo! But drink, but it can be very dangerous. So it's good to be here because it's very steep and the loads are very heavy. And we're about 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet or so below the medical camp. So a few more hours.
An avalanche thunders down nearby. Warmer temperatures soften and destabilize the snow. The climbers must always be alert. At 5 o'clock, they reach Camp 5. It took them 9 hours to gain 1,000 vertical meters.
Really happy to be here. That was a long, little flat spot.
At an altitude of 4,300 meters, Camp 5 is the largest group of tents on the route. This is the view. Mount Foraker, the second highest peak in the Alaska Range, can be seen beyond the glacier they've climbed. The team meets a Japanese man at Camp 5. Yoshitomi Okura has installed a wind gauge near the summit. He's been collecting weather data here for nearly 20 years. He was motivated by a series of disasters involving Japanese mountain climbers. Naomi Uemura was a famous Japanese adventurer. He was the first to scale the highest mountains on 5 continents, including Mount Everest. He disappeared in 1984, right after being the first to climb McKinley alone in the winter.
どうして亡くなったのかなっていうのが最初の僕の疑問だったんです。それがやっぱり強い風が吹くことによる気象遭難という結論に達したんで、どんな風が吹くんだろうかというんで、ちょうど20年前から始めました。今までで記録で一番強い風っていうのは一応秒速80約3メートルなんですね。平地にいてももう捕まるところがなければ倒されて飛ばされるという風ですね。
After Uemura disappeared, film was discovered at this camp. The pictures showed Uemura eating reindeer meat. Sheltering in a snow cave, he battled the fierce mountain winds. On McKinley in the winter, the winds are so strong that it's sometimes impossible to pitch a tent. Three days after they arrive at Camp 5, the weather turns bad. Wind speeds exceeding 20 meters per second prevent the team from climbing. They wait, day after day, for the weather to improve. In the end, they must stay in their tents at 4,300 meters for 9 days. Finally, blue skies return. It's the 20th morning since the expedition began. Mount Hunter glistens white across the valley. After their long delay at Camp 5, the team sets out again, climbing the steep slope. The wind appears calm in the upper reaches as well. Marty and Misty get ready for the climb.
Woo!
Hello. How do you feel today?
Great.
Great.
So happy it's sunny. So happy we get to move. It's a perfect day.
Marty decides to take a ukulele instead of a guitar.
Where are you? Big one.
What?
Big guitar.
Too heavy.
Too heavy.
I give it to Vern.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Too much weight.
Uh-huh.
Too heavy. Just a ukulele.
Ukulele.
Just a little ukulele.
Nice size.
Nice size for climbing.
Marty takes time to finish his preparations. The team gets a late start on this day. They finally leave Camp 5 behind, where they spent 9 days trapped by bad weather.
Hello. How are you? Beautiful day. I'm happy. She always said.
Marty's having trouble moving his legs. The long days spent at high altitude seem to have sapped his strength.
So happy it's sunny.
Meanwhile,
So beautiful
Misty
outside.
forges ahead with firm steps.
It's one of our best days. Yes.
4 hours after departure, Marty signals that something's wrong.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
What happened?
It's a little
Oh,
weak, no power. Sorry.
Me and Dragon take some weight.
I'm not I'm not sure that's the problem. I just don't have any power. No power.
Marty decides that he can go no
Sure?
further.
You sure?
He'll go back to
Yeah.
camp alone
Okay.
and wait.
Take your time on the ridge. It's beautiful. You sure? You strong?
Yep.
Okay, darling, I'm proud of you. Very, very proud. Just go slow.
Yep, I'm gonna be careful and I love you too.
Okay, you gotta go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Dad.
Marty descends about 200 meters, then suddenly, an avalanche.
Oh my God.
Fortunately, Marty's all right.
How do we help her?
The avalanche was triggered by a woman heading down the mountain.
Okay.
She disturbed some of the soft snow on the surface. She apparently injured her leg and can't move.
Yeah, she says she's okay.
The woman is later rescued by a park ranger. The team is on a steep slope, about 600 meters long, with an incline of as much as 35 degrees. Misty's feet are hampered by the new snow. She depends on her rope to keep going. They've made it to the ridge at 4,900 meters. Misty is now harnessed to the camera team instead of Marty.
Good, yeah. Very good. I feel like $1 million.
It's after 8 p.m. The light Alaskan evening reveals a silver-white world. The team can see Camp 5, 600 meters below them.
Oh, very strong.
The sharp ridge falls away quickly on both sides. The climbers must be very careful not to lose their balance. After 9 o'clock, they see a sun pillar. Ice crystals in the air reflect the sunlight, creating a spectacular effect that's only visible in very cold conditions. To reach their destination camp, the team must climb over 16 small peaks.
Anchor. Ready.
The team can't see their final camp yet. McKinley's snowy summit still towers above them. At 11 p.m., the sun sets. It's nearly midnight when they finally reach Camp 6. Exhausted, they pitch their tents. They make dinner in preparation for the summit climb. The menu includes some solid fare they haven't had for a while: pork, miso soup, and rice with meat and vegetables.
Very good.
The next morning, they're engulfed in a fierce storm that keeps them huddled in their tents for 2 days. Attempting to climb is out of the question. In fact, it's too stormy for them to even withdraw. On the 23rd day of the expedition, they finally get their chance to go to the top. Misty had always dreamed of climbing McKinley. She braces herself for the ascent. They face a slope with a 40-degree incline. It's a challenging passage where climbers can easily slip and fall. The team members are extremely fatigued. They must be very cautious. They make it to Denali Pass at 5,547 meters. Oxygen content is less than half that at sea level. The cold and fatigue sometimes make the climbers woozy. Misty takes a few steps, pauses, catches her breath, and takes another few steps, advancing slowly. They climb to the summit ridge at 6,100 meters. They encounter an overhang of drifted snow called a snow cornice.
I do not want to be ripped off via cornice.
More snow cornices await them on the summit ridge. In their dazed state, they could easily step through one and trip. Each climber carefully follows in the footsteps of the person ahead. They arrive just below the summit at a little past 8 p.m. It's been 23 days since they started their ascent. They've finally made it to the top of the highest mountain in North America. There's a marker at the very highest point, part of the U.S. government's geological survey.
Okay, I gotta come down before I fall off the edge of the world.
This was Misty's first climb to the top.
I'm really excited. I've wanted to be here since I was a little kid. Always
listening to my dad's stories of the mountain, and they were so exciting and sounded so great. And now I have my own stories, and we had a great run, and it was a lot of fun, and now I'm here. I made it.
This is the view that Misty sees. A sea of clouds extends to the far horizon, covering the great expanse of Alaska, her homeland. On July 1st, the team safely completes their descents. The entire expedition took 26 days. Marty was unable to complete a fifth summit, but he's delighted that his daughter made it to the top.
Thanks for digging again.
Yeah.
Misty standing on top of Mount McKinley, so it will affect her life, I know. This mountain will change your life. It will change your life. It changed mine in a good way when I was 29 years old. So it's a good, it's a spiritual, obviously a place of beauty, and it's a place to learn about yourself.
Majestic Mount McKinley dominates all other peaks in North America. It will always attract and challenge those who seek the ultimate climbing experience.